The vibrant fabric of Indian life contains a hidden thread of terrifying and brutal weapons. A throwing device that could sever a man's limb. A sword that history tells us killed 9 men in one attack. And a booby trap that could have inspired a Hollywood film. These are the twisted weapons of ancient India. There is a 16th century Indian text called the Akbarnama.
These things are very often wonderfully illustrated with superb miniatures in extreme detail which show armour and weaponry and all the slightly, particularly in Mughal India, slightly bizarre weaponry that they tended to go in for.
An illustration of a battle described in the Akbarnama clearly shows what looks like circular metal objects being used as weapons. What are these frisbee-like devices the warriors are using? Investigations point towards a weapon known as the Chakar, an ancient Indian projectile. Niddar Singh is a member of the Sikh warrior tribe known as the Akali Nihang. They were the front line of the Sikh army created in the early 17th century.
Akali Nihang is a traditional vanguard of the Sikh nation. They're the defenders of the Sikh faith. They were employed as personal bodyguards by the Sikh gurus and employed as guards of Sikh temples. And it's their special weapon, the Chakar.
The Chakar varied in size from 5 to 12 inches in diameter and were up to an inch in width. The Akali Nihang would send a barrage of these ancient steel projectiles into enemy ranks to break up the front lines of their formations. Deployed in every battle the Sikhs fought for over 300 years, it was the signature weapon of these ancient commandos.
So what we have is almost a flat ring. So the bottom will be slightly flat, slightly asymmetric curve here, gives you a bit of airfoil, and what you have with outer edge is sharp as possible. So the idea is when it's thrown, at any single point wherever it touches, it will cut. So rather than a conventional throwing knife that can only do damage with one single point, the idea with Chakar is that it doesn't matter where he hits, it will do damage with. And as he spins, it digs through, cuts through. So he may hit here, but spinning, it widens the wound, digs in further.
An account from a traveller to ancient India, Duarte Barbosa, reveals the startling ways in which the Chakar was used. And they carry 7 or 8 of these each put on the left arm, and they take one and put it on the finger of the right hand and make it spin round many times. And so they hurl it at their enemies, and if they hit anyone on the arm or leg or neck, it cuts through all. Would it be possible for the Chakar to actually sever a limb, as Barbosa wrote? In ancient times, the Sikhs would use sugarcane to test their weapons.
Traditionally, they consider sugarcane to be the same consistency of bones. So even in Sikh rituals, where they do sacrifices and so on to the goddess Chandi, they employ sugarcanes to represent limbs.
To test the Chakar, sugarcane will be used in keeping with the practices of the ancient Sikhs. Will the Chakar be able to cut through a limb? Through our investigations, we have discovered that Barbosa's account was true. The ancient Indian engineers created a weapon capable of slicing through a man's limb.